Hey bestie, welcome to the Spoiled Girlie Support Group podcast where we talk about how to get that bag while also securing your own bag. I'm your host Elle, and let's get into it. On today's episode, we are talking about unhinged femininity hacks. There's this trend on TikTok where people are asking other people to comment like their most unhinged XYZ, and I came across this video that was asking for unhinged femininity hacks, and the hacks are hacking, okay? And if you're wondering what kind of femininity we're even talking about in the Spoiled Girlie Support Group, this isn't the superficial wear a flowy dress, cater to the male gaze type of advice or the self-abandonment kind of advice. And we've already established the kind of femininity that we are working towards in the Spoiled Girlie Support Group. So if you're wondering what that is, watch this class if you missed it. Now, before we get into it, I need you to hit the like, subscribe, and the notification bell so you never miss a Spoiled Girlie episode. With that being said, let's get into it. This episode is sponsored by I Love Elle. Today, I'm wearing the strawberry cat eye. This is her. Every time I get complimented on my nails, which is one of my most favorite compliments ever, they cannot believe that these are press-ons. Like, do you see how seamless that is? Right? They look like I got my nails done, but I didn't. I did it myself because they're salon quality nails without the salon visit. So if you want to check us out, go to iloveelleshop.com and use code SPRING10 to get 10% off your order. That's iloveelleshop.com and use code SPRING10 to get 10% off your order. Now back to the topic. So let's get into the unhinged femininity hacks. We got a trusty laptop today. First comment says, fall deeply in love with yourself and fill your days with whimsical experiences, no matter how small or big. This, and like I said, we already did a big class on femininity, but I wanted to recap it here so that we know what kind of femininity we are talking about whenever we are in the Spoiled Girlie Support Groups, specifically for this class. So the bottom line is this. The most feminine thing you can do as a woman is to be yourself. That's it. It's about knowing, believing, accepting, and embodying yourself. Period. Okay, so the most feminine thing you can do as a woman is be yourself. I love this comment, fall deeply in love with yourself, because that really is all it comes down to. When you think about the times when you are not having the time of your life, it is when you have abandoned yourself. It's when you have not drawn boundaries. It's when you have been drained of your time, your energy, your resources. It's when you have felt violated. That's one of the worst times in a lot of our lives, is when we feel all those feelings. So when we fall deeply in love with ourselves, that's when we really tap into ourselves and become the most feminine. Okay, and I really wanted to emphasize that whenever we talk about femininity, it's always about being in touch with yourself and creating boundaries so that you can give out of love, so that you can share your love, your thoughts, your vibes with other people while keeping yourself safe, while keeping yourself whole. Like, that is the cornerstone of femininity. So when we move on to the other comments, I really want you to keep that in the back of your head. Someone else said, romanticizing life, even everyday moments like putting on moisturizer and looking put together at home. Investing in nice pajamas. Once again, it's about nurturing yourself. Someone else said, learning how to receive compliments and say thank you without downplaying myself. Ladies, do not even say something mean to yourself unintentionally. You are exactly what you think you are. Own it. One of the things that changed it for me when it comes to receiving compliments and being able to give other people genuine compliments is this. When someone compliments you, you don't have to say, oh my gosh, I love your XYZ thing too. When someone says, oh, I love your nails, and then you feel this pressure to like deflect and say, oh my gosh, I love your nails too. It kind of makes the interaction less genuine, because then they came to you with a genuine compliment, and then you probably haven't even seen their nails, and then you say, oh, I love your nails too. You know, just say thank you. And then if you come across them later again, you're gonna notice something that you want to compliment them on, then give that compliment as a standalone compliment, not as a quid pro quo compliment. You get what I mean? Because that puts you in a more genuine frame of mind where you're giving out genuine compliments. And it also comes down to recognizing that you are worthy of compliments, that your nails really are nice, that your outfit is cute, that your energy is just so uplifting. It is true. So take the compliment and just say thank you. Because when people are giving genuine compliments, they don't expect to be complimented back. That is their public service to the world, and you were on the receiving end of it. Okay, so just say thank you. And I love the second part of this comment too. It says, do not even say something mean to yourself unintentionally. You are exactly what you think you are. Own it. So after a lot of cognitive behavioral therapy, which the goal is to reframe your thought patterns, one of the things I really struggled with was negative self-talk. And it's so funny because I have so many long-term girlfriends, like since grade school, like first grade. I still have one of my best friends in the whole wide world from first grade in Catholic school. Okay, I have all these long-term friendships, and I would never ever talk to them the same way I used to talk to myself. Like, I would call myself all these XYZ bad names. You're so stupid, you're so dumb, I can't believe you did that. And one of the things that really changed my perspective on it was my therapist was like, would you ever talk to your friends like that? And I'm like, I would never. If I talk to my friends like I talk to myself, I would not have friends anymore. Okay, so how could you talk to yourself negatively and still expect yourself to thrive? You know, and it comes up in like the smallest, most random ways. When you make a mistake, you say, oh, I'm so dumb. And I'm like, no, you're not. Like, whenever I catch people saying that about themselves, I'm like, you're not. Stop saying that. Like, I will call you out, because I would never let other people talk to you like that. And then you're talking to yourself like that, like, jail. Okay, stop it. So as a recovering self-mean person, it really pains me whenever I see people talk negatively about themselves. Okay, like, other people do that to you enough already. Why do you have to be your number one enemy too? You know, stop it. And then someone else said, show up every day like you've already reached everything you set out to accomplish. Dress like her, talk like her, embody her. This is called walking meditation, and it works. We did a class on this. It's called Dressing as Manifestation. I didn't even know there was a name for it. Walking meditation. And same thing. Watch that class if you missed it. But it's about showing up how you want to be perceived, showing up for the job that you want, showing up for the lifestyle that you want. Like, today, my vibe is cozy. I'm in my little cardigan. This is it today. Like, after I film this is it. Okay, this is my activity for the day. Just vibing with my girlfriends. So yeah, watch that class if you missed it. Someone else said, whenever I get nervous around people, I straighten my shoulders, lift my head, and walk confidently. Even if I have to fake it, LOL. I tell myself they're only humans just like me, then I'm not faking. This, whenever you find yourself like intimidated by other people, they're just people, just like you and me. Whenever I'm in a room where there's like more senior people to me in terms of like, you know, whatever group setting it is, they're just people. They really are. Do some of them have the power to give you opportunities or take away opportunities? Yes. But they're just people at the end of the day. Okay? They're not above you on some level. Like, they're just people. And also posture. Like, obviously, I'm not like the poster child for good posture, but it really does help. How your body language does convey something to other people. And it's also kind of a hack too, is if you don't feel powerful or beautiful or competent, at least if you look that, then that can influence how you perceive yourself. Does that make sense? Like, if you don't feel like you're powerful, that you can affect whatever it is you want to affect on the world, just dress like you are already doing that. It's kind of like you're brainwashing yourself to see the evidence, and then you'll believe it. Someone else said, have a backup of everything, job, another set of friends to go to events, etc. The less you are dependent on others, the less you are in your abandoned or anxious mindset, which means more secure mindset. And this all comes down to abundance mindset. Always have a backup of everything as much as you can. Always be market ready as much as you can, okay? And one misconception too about being feminine is being dependent on others, when it's the exact opposite. It's when you know that you are in your fullness as an individual, and that anyone who wants to access your energy has to sacrifice at some level, okay? And this comment echoes here. The less you are dependent on others, the less you are in your abandoned or anxious mindset. Like, you cannot depend on others to validate you. You cannot depend on others to show you that you are worthy. Like, you just already know that you are. So when you don't seek that validation, that feeling of worthiness from other people, then you are better able to cultivate relationships with them. Whether it's a friendship, whether it's a business relationship, whether it's a romantic relationship, like you just don't need them to validate that for you. And it also helps you make better decisions about who and what you're going to allow into your life. Someone else said, stop showing people that I can do it all by myself. I started getting offered more assistance and people actually begged to help me. This, okay, like, can we do it all? We can, and we already are. But if you're going to be around me and you're not doing anything for me to help me, lift something or plan something or whatever. Like, if anyone's going to be around you as the woman, as the source, they are already siphoning from you. So the least they can do is bring a sacrifice or make a sacrifice. Okay? You are the altar. You're not the sacrifice. Okay? They come to you. So if they are going to be in the area of the altar, they have to bring a sacrifice or make a sacrifice. Okay, that's it, point blank, period. And this symbology that you are the altar, you're not the sacrifice, and if people are going to come to the altar, they have to either bring a sacrifice or make a sacrifice, that will just reframe all the relationships in your life. Like, think about it. If there are people who are not helping you or bringing something good into your life, whether it's just good vibes, good energy, good conversations, if they're not bringing that into your life, they are draining from you. Why else would they come to the altar? They come to the altar because they want something. Okay? So thinking of yourself as the altar, and if people are going to come to the altar, they have to either bring a sacrifice or make a sacrifice. That is just paradigm shifting. Okay? When I realized that, I was like, thought about all the times there were all these people at my altar doing nothing, just siphoning energy, siphoning resources, siphoning whatever, siphoning vibes. They were giving nothing back. And I'm like, what? I allowed that to happen. Never again. Okay, never again. Someone else said, stop people pleasing. Your energy will move from overgiving to simply receiving. Everyone wants to give to you, help you, support you. All of a sudden, you are always getting instead of giving. This. People pleasing is not only a form of self-abandonment, it is also a form of control. I mean, think about it. People pleasing, you're trying to control how others perceive you. So you do whatever it is that they want from you. But when you're thinking that you're controlling them, you're controlling how they perceive you, the reality is they actually end up controlling you, because now they know that if I can get her to abandon herself, abandon her values, abandon her desires, her needs, her goals, her wants, then now I have power over her. And now I can get her to do whatever I want. And the thing is about people who are very fine with siphoning energy from you without making a sacrifice, without bringing a sacrifice, they will push you to your limit. And this happens time and time again. And not just in a relationship context, like, okay, like that's like a very small part of a woman's life. Okay, whenever we talk about femininity and this and that, romantic relationships, a very small part of a woman's life. We're talking about all the other aspects in work relationships, in family relationships, friendships, whatever. Like, this is all encompassing, okay? People who find out that you're a people pleaser, they will drain you, okay? They will suck you dry, because they know they can. And when people are at the altar, they're not bringing you a sacrifice, they're not making you a sacrifice. It leads you to feel so drained and so out of touch with yourself and so lost. And you start to think that, oh, is this all I'm good for? That I'm only worthy when I'm drained dry? Like, no, absolutely not. It's because you have not woken up yet to how you are the altar, and people come to you for a reason, and that you bring so much to their lives already by doing nothing, and you giving is just extra. It's just icing on the cake. Okay? And when you are at your fullest, like you're literally radiating, people come to you to give you gifts and even more sacrifices. They want to help you, like they just want to be around you because you are radiating so much. We've talked about this before. Like, once you start really being in touch with yourself and really being feminine, you have to be even stronger with your boundaries, because now people will want you even more. Okay, opportunities will come knocking at your door even more. People will want a piece of your time. People will want your energy. Like, people will just like want you, period. But that doesn't mean that it's a good thing. It's just a byproduct of you knowing yourself, accepting yourself, and embodying yourself. Okay, so that like being wanted by everyone isn't like the goal. It's a byproduct, and it may or may not even be a good byproduct. It just is. It's like an unintended consequence of you believing in yourself and embodying yourself and being in touch with yourself. Someone else said, exercise regularly, eat mostly unprocessed food, sleep for 7+ hours, pray, practice good posture, increase your vocabulary by reading, and maintain mystery. This one too is more in the self-care aspect, like just take care of yourself, point blank, period. Someone else said, oh, this one, I stopped doing emotional labor for others. This, one of the best books I've ever read in my life is The Courage to Be Disliked. And if you don't have time to read that book, let me give it to you in like one sentence. Stop taking on other people's tasks. Okay, whenever people try to project onto you their insecurities, their hatred, their beefs with the world, and make it like it's your responsibility that they're going through things, like, no. Tell yourself, that is not my task. Whenever people have an emergency that is totally unavoidable, like you saw it like 10 miles away, but then they still made the decisions that leads them to being in these bad situations, that is not my task. Okay? Whenever people are in crisis because of things that they could easily have avoided, and then they try to get you to fix it or to bail them out of it, that is not my task. Whenever other people are having a bad day and they take it out on you, that is not my task to hold onto your heaviness. That's not my task. Okay, whenever you have this energy to you that you're competent, that you have the resources, that you have the energy, that you have all these XYZ things that they want for themselves, and they try you to give it to them, that is not your task. Okay, and same thing here, doing emotional labor for others, for what? I am a big proponent of community and being in community with others, but there comes a point when relationships start to feel one-sided and that you always find yourself drained whenever you interact with someone. That's why every time you interact with someone, you have a phone call, you have a meeting, you have coffee. Always debrief with yourself and check in with yourself. Like, how did that interaction make me feel? And if you feel like that interaction didn't fulfill you today, give yourself permission to no longer put yourself in that situation. And obviously not every interaction will be positive. Sometimes you have to be there for your friends. Sometimes you have to help out your friends and this and that. But there comes a point when you have to take a step back and check in with yourself and realize that I'm doing a little too much for other people, and those people are not doing the same level of muchness for me, you know, and that's okay. It's time to rethink these relationships, because whatever gets you out of alignment with yourself and whatever doesn't conform with your values, you need less of that in your life, okay? Or you need none of that in your life. Someone else said, I regulated my nervous system and it changed everything. And a big part of regulating your nervous system is taking away the things that shock your nervous system, is taking away stressful things, stressful people, stressful whatever. And I know that that comes with a lot of privilege to be able to take away the stressors in your life, but as much as you can. And sometimes it's not even like taking away things, it's avoiding things before they even come to your life. So always be in discernment. And let's get into the last comment. It says, all nice advice for on the outside, but this comes from within. You either are or you're not. It's self-actualization. A soft, healed, yet boundless woman in her knowing radiates femininity. It comes to self-actualization. It's about getting to know yourself, learning about yourself. What do you value? What do you like? What do you dislike? What are your icks? And honoring that. Okay, if you already know that you don't like XYZ, why do you keep bringing the XYZ into your life? If you already know that you thrive doing XYZ, why do you not get create more of that in your life. Be unapologetic about giving yourself the best experience of life possible. Just be unapologetic about it. That's all I have for you today. I just want to let you know that you have so much inherent worth and value in a world that is hell-bent on devaluing you. Now get that bag, bestie. Also, go to iloveelleshop.com and use code SPRING10 to get 10% off your order. That's iloveelleshop.com and use code SPRING10 to get 10% off your order. Thank you so much. Bye.